What's up, guys? It is Will here, back again for another episode of Lights Camera Collect every Friday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern, right on the dot, or 4 minutes behind the dot. It just depends on the show. But nonetheless, we are here this evening, and we have an Avengers level panel as always. Mr. Ben Thomas, Mr. Keco Collects / Handsome Butters. We got a beautiful panel here, bro. Guys, let's address this beautiful Avengers level panel before we address the chat and jump into our topics, because we got a lot of shit to talk about. I don't know how much time we're going to have to talk about it, usually about 90 minutes, but we're going to get to as much as we possibly can. But with that said, Ben, how you doing, bro? Always love that classy display behind you, bro. I got to do a collection reaction to your tour, bro, because if you're willing to let me do it, I would love to.
Of course. I love the commentary. Thanks for having me, by the way. Good to see everybody in the chat. Today was an interesting morning. I woke up to the Handsome Butters meme that you put together, so that was awesome. And then I saw the Batman and the Throbin, and I was really excited after that point, and I was still in bed at the time, so
that's a different kind of
all
excitement.
Good. Different, a little different, but no, it's a good day. I've got a little rum and coke beside me. It's Friday evening, ready to jam, and good to see Keco and yourself again, buddy. So thanks for having me.
Man. Well, thanks for joining, bro. I've been wanting to get you back, and like I said, I know it's a fun time to have you as always, man, and always got that beautiful display behind you. So you always.
I wore my collecting weekly Blockbuster shirt.
Oh,
not
nice.
Blockbuster.
Okay.
It's Blockbuster, but for the in spirit of the lights and camera, makes me think of films. Got to think of Blockbuster.
Well, speaking of that, because this show really is called Lights Camera Keco. So that's really what the show is called. So because Keco was showing up like every other week, basically. I think he was on 3 weeks in a row. So we broke some kind of record.
Time,
yeah. So Keco, how you doing, man?
Oh, it's great, buddy. It's great.
Handsome Butters is here.
Oh boy.
But I want to say thank you, Will, for taking an old collection video and highlighting that on the channel. So make sure, if you're not everybody, check out Will's clips, if you want to call them that. He did a collection reaction to one of my old ones, and as he previewed and said, a new one is coming. It's a holiday special, a collection tour holiday special, and we'll show some of the new stuff. But he made up this lovely idea that I was Handsome Butters mixed with Cutie Pie, and I was like, this is fantastic, man. And I literally could not stop laughing. So Handsome Butters is here. That is my handle for today. Will, it's good to be a part of the show.
Well, happy to have.
We need some stickers made, by the way. We need some stickers made. Just saying.
Keco will be a ninja any second, bro. Just like Butters. So yeah, bro. Just like Butters. But yeah,
Professor Chaos.
That's basically Keco tonight, guys. Thanks so much for joining. And yes, Keco told me before I did his collection tour, he was like, dude, if you can literally wait a week, I will have a new one. And I said, I cannot wait a week. I want to do this now. So
I need those views.
Yeah, I know, right? The views. No, I was like, you know what, Keco? That's double the views, because I'm going to do your old one, and then I'm going to do your new one with the update, and then we can compare notes, because I haven't really done that with anyone else's. So I'm going to do it. But yeah, man. Happy to have you guys both here. Let's address the chat real quick. We even got a super chat right off the bat. Thanks so much, Mr. Benno Benny, with a super sticker. Dude, thank you so much, Mr. Benno Benny. Really appreciate that. You guys are super generous with that. Let's address the rest of the chat. Hold My Balls, leading the charge with the first comment of the live stream. Hello, Hold My Balls. Thank you so much. How you doing? Louis Labitz, the man himself. Yo, yo, yo. Happy Friday, crew. Happy Friday, Louis Labitz. Some guy, let's go, Throbin into house. Yeah, he is. Throbin's here, and he will be discussed in all his Throbin-like nature. So good for the health. Hey, yo, what's up, Good for Health? Safel, what's up, Safel? I know we just talked on Instagram recently. What's up, bro? Just needed this after a hard day work. What's up, fellas? Yeah, bro. All of us too, man. It's been a long week. AJ Agarusa, thanks so much, bro. Friends on Facebook now. Happy to have you, bro, and a channel member. Happy Friday, friends. Happy Friday to you as well. Ryan Smith, what is up, Ryan? What is up? Dinesh Theagaraj, a channel member. Dinesh, love your name, bro. Love that, bro. I always get it right every time now. Always get your name right, bro. So I got to show that respect to you. Anyone getting the So-So Toys Kenshin? No. However, it looks amazing, and it made me want to watch whatever it's from. What do you guys know what it's from? No,
I'm not familiar with that, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not either. But when I saw the figure band, I was like, damn, that looks sick, bro. And I like samurai. I'm a huge Jin Sakai guy. I love samurai stuff. So I was like, you know what? I kind of want to watch that. So
I've been trying to look at new releases like this, because I've got so many things coming that if I see anything else that I like, my wallet's about to burst into fire.
Yeah, Keco's like, let it flow, bro. let the dollar bills flow. Make it rain.
Tis the season.
It is. So let's see. Otaku Samurai, it does. Primetime Reviews. What's up, Primetime Reviews? Got my Loki, bro. So glad that I got to see yours beforehand because it is amazing in hand, bro. It's amazing. Not a 10, but it's a 10 in my heart. The Punisher, what's up? Punisher XS, Collector's Outpost, what's up? What's up? Alvin J, channel member, what's up? Anthony Anderson, what is up, bro? Let's see. Thalia Meyer, what's up, Thalia, fellow Loki fan? I always love that avatar, bro. That's awesome, man. That Loki snail there. I guess that's a snail. I don't know. I like it, though, nonetheless. Blackbird Tech, hey, everyone. Dinesh said he ordered a statue with Todd with Spec after the interview. Dude, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Glad that Todd got some transactions. Let's see, Blackbird Tech. Oh, boy, another 160 out YouTuber, Handsome Butters. Yeah, bro. That's Keco, flexing on all of us always. Dagito, what is up? Calvin Williams, what's up, bro? Keiko's tour was badass. Yes, it was. That is a clean display. So is Ben's. So I want to react to Ben's because that is the definition of cleanliness. That is Keco and Ben are organized and come on, bro. That's...
So I've been updating too. So the one that's on my channel right now is about a month and a half old. And then I've been building this display for the last month and a half. So I owe you guys, like Keco said, maybe a Christmas 2.0 or something like that along the lines.
Yeah,
but
we need to go holiday special because that's what I'm doing. And sometimes when we have those older videos out there, Will's like, hey, I'm going to react. It's like, no. Because like there's certain things in there, like either like a pose or something that you just hate. And so it like just stands out like a sore thumb 100%. To me. And so there was those things like when he was reviewed, I was like, please skip this part. Please skip this part. And there was a couple you did skip. I'm like, thank God.
Nice. But, I was looking out for you, bro. I was looking out for you. I was looking at it. But no, and people have said, I know I got a couple comments. I think I got one comment where it was like, well, you shouldn't really react to other people's and reviews them if you haven't shown your own. I'm like, I have though. I've done like 3. but I will say I am going to do another one when the Modu Spaces come in. I know, Ben, you were mentioning that. So when I get those in, I'm repainting this room over winter break. Yes, I will do my own, and you all feel free to react to it and give you the same treatment that I've been giving you guys. So, I think that'll be fine. So it'll be good.
If you need any painting tips, let me know. That's what I do professionally.
Really? Okay. Yes, we're going to talk then.
So
we're going to talk.
Please ask for help.
I'm working on color right now, Ben. So I'm trying to figure out the right color. So I'll talk.
Sounds
to you.
Good.
Absolutely. So Josh 008, all 3 of you are awesome. Thanks so much, bro. Like I said, these guys make me look good. Waden, hello from the Prague, dude. Thanks so much. I am Benny number 2, Benny Gregerson. Hello, Benny. Tron, hello, peeps. What's up, Tron? Andy H, what is up, Andy? OG fan when Star Wars was just Star Wars. Hello, everyone. Tyria in the house. Hey, everyone. Hope everyone's good. Hope you're good as well. Let's see. Wayne said I already ordered So Toys Kenshin. It's from, I'm never going to pronounce that correctly. Rurouni Kenshin? Rurouni Kenshin? I don't know. I do want to watch it.
Great effort.
Yeah, it's A for effort. Wayne said all on Netflix. Oh, it's on Netflix. I'm going to watch it then. Natalie G. What's up, Natalie? Hey, fellas. Anyone on the panel getting the So Toys Omni-Man? I'm actually not, Natalie. I do love Invincible, but that figure I'm not quite sold on. Did you guys see it?
Oh, yeah, I've seen it. I've got the Unbreakable coming, and I'm like,
okay.
I don't think I can have Unbreakable without Omni-Man.
Probably not.
But the red cape bleeding thing worries me just a little bit, and Unbreakable is not supposed to have a cape. I don't know if I'd want to display my Omni-Man without a cape, but I also don't necessarily want to wash the cape before I put it on the figure. So I'm very mixed.
I'm the same. I'm not the guy that goes, oh, soak your Jedi robes. Nope, not going to do that. I'm not going to do that either. But here's a hot take. Let's just go right out the gate with it.
What's up, bro?
I think Invincible sucks.
What? All right, hold on.
I didn't like it.
I did not like it.
Oh, I like it.
Really? You didn't like it?
There you go.
How far did you get, Keco? Did you watch the whole season?
Like 3 episodes, and I called it. Like,
okay, because the last 2 episodes are really, really great. Yeah,
but still, or whatever. Like my buddies that I do my other podcast with, he's like, dude, you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. They go, come on. And I'm like, okay, I'll give it a shot. And like by like episode 2, I'm like, is this getting any better? He's like, oh, just stick with it, man. Just stick with it. I gave it 1 more and I bailed.
Damn. Okay. Yep.
That's
interesting.
Fair.
No. Okay. Hey, Kiko's the king of hot takes.
And then they send me like the little, hey, check out this YouTube clip from this part. Let me know if you think it's awesome. I'm like,
no connection.
Handsome Butters coming with the hot takes already, bro. Anyway, guys, 5 movies all connected and great. Okay, I'm gonna watch them, Wayne, for sure. Yo, King Detoff in the house. Let's go. He is King Detoff, bro. He and Leao, I think, would be the 2 Detoff kings in the community here with the most Detoffs. The Collector's Outpost just got the emails that Bo-Katan and Doc Brown to ship. Can't wait, but Fox Brown. I see what you did. Fox Brown looks disappointing a little bit, but we're gonna talk about it. Dinesh said getting Omni-Man on the way. That's awesome, bro. Acid for Blood, what's up? Can't get enough collection tours. Feed us precious collection tours. Yes, I shall. I always reach out to the people and ask them beforehand. The only one that I forgot to do was Nick because I wanted it to be a surprise. But the rest of them, I always reach out to the person. Rome Moreno, what's up? Let's talk Batman Forever. We shall, Jason Himmelwright. We shall talk about Throbin. X-Men Supreme, Keco, the Kiefer Sutherland of collecting. He has a lot of names, bro. He has a lot of names.
Well, that's
one of those
that's about
faces.
right. You know, the Breaker of Chains, Mother of Dragons. You know, it's very fitting.
It never really ends, bro, with the titles for you. Let's see. Ban Keco. Yeah, I know, bro. I know. We'll have the ban Keco. Tyria, those be fighting words. Yeah, I know. But it's all right. Hey, what's up, collectible? What's up, panel? Bless all collectible chats. What's up? Thule himself. I'm not quite the legend, Thule. That would be you, bro. Will, are you playing Callisto Protocol? I have not yet, but I'm considering it. So anyway. Yes. Anyway, guys, let's get started. We're not going to start with Throbin yet. We gotta warm people up first. There's a little bit of foreplay that needs to happen.
Got to work into that.
Yeah, there's a little bit of foreplay. We can't just go for the jugular, right? You know, we got to warm up a little bit. So, Hot Toys Star Wars Attack of the Clones line, right? Hot Toys announced this recently, and bear with me while I open this because I have like a million tabs open because we have so much news to cover. But Hot Toys showed that they are working on the Attack of the Clones Star Wars line, episode 2 from phase 2, right? So they're actually doing Mace Windu, they're doing Anakin Padawan, they're doing the Padme Amidala, and they're doing the Super Battle Droid. These are all things that we've kind of had a general idea of coming, right? But now Padme is finally on her way rather. I think a lot of people are going to be really excited about that. I ran a poll recently, and actually the winner that most people were excited about was Mace Windu. I thought it would actually be Padme or maybe Anakin, but I thought Mace Windu would be in the running. I'm most excited for Mace, but I want to ask the panel, and I'll start with you, Ben. What figure out of these 4 that are going to be listed here is the one that excites you the most from this Attack of the Clones line? What do you think?
I can only pick one. Oh, that's hard.
Only pick one. You got to pick your most, and you could talk about the others, but just, what's your most excited one?
Okay, so most excited then, I would say Mace, for sure.
Yep.
We've been waiting for him for so long. I love Sam Jackson. I love the purple saber. I think it would look badass in a display. It would look good with so many other figures that we already have in our collections, especially if you're not like the type of collector that needs to have, every version of a character, but you want to have that representation in your collection. Mace is going to be badass, I think. And we've seen them do his likeness well already for kind of an older generation. So hopefully, not like Doc Brown, they update that a little bit and make it even cleaner and nicer looking. Although I would say a runner-up to that would be the Anakin. I've got the Vader coming with the half Anakin, Sith face kind of poking out. I think it would be cool to see a display with Padawan Anakin, light side Anakin, or like kind of a more mature version, I should say, and then that dark side Anakin through the Darth Vader mask. So be cool display as well, but I don't know. I was excited just about the announcement to begin with. That's why I said I'm trying to look at releases with blinders on and not get myself too hyped.
Well,
up.
dude, Ben, there's a lot of good names on that list. I mean, there's 3 names that I think a lot of people really, really want. The Super Battle Droid, I'd say that's probably like that's like kind of a passable figure for a lot of people. Some people will pick it up if you're more of a completionist. You just really like the look of it. But the other 3, I bet I'm willing to wager that a lot of people are like, hell yeah, I want all 3 of those. For me, I'm going to take Keco's reins here as a hot take king here. I don't really care about Padme, personally. I'm one of the people that maybe just doesn't really care. Like, I probably wouldn't even get that Anakin, to be honest, either, just because I'm probably going to wait for I think they're still going to reissue the Dark Side Anakin / make a 2.0 DX with that. Keco says no, with the 2 head sculpts. I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen with 2 head sculpts. I think it's going to be a Dark Side Anakin and a Light Side Anakin DX from Obi-Wan. I think they're going to do both. Then I'm going to pass on this Padawan version. That's what I'm thinking. I probably only need 1 Anakin, so I'm going to go with that. And Padme, I don't really care as much about, but Mace, hell yeah. Mace, I'm super excited about. Definitely want a Mace Windu. But Keco, king of DTOFs, king of hot takes. What figure are you most excited about, bro, from this upcoming line?
Well, I think for me, it's probably I'm going to go Anakin Skywalker, just because, that is my favorite character in all the saga. We've talked about that before. And this is an iteration that is teetering on the edge of the dark side. So you can do a lot of fun stuff. And I think kind of what, we had talked about a little bit earlier on, this progressing to the light side Anakin, Revenge of the Sith, and then that broken Darth Vader is a beautiful way to display that. I think it's a great idea. But we've seen an idea of what this Padme is going to look like. I'm sure it'll be updated. The tailoring obviously already looks a lot better, but I think the bang for your buck for real is going to be Mace. I think you're just going to get a lot of stuff with it, multiple hands and accessories and things like that. I can just see, with almost all the female releases, it's usually 2 pairs of hands and a gun. I mean, you think about all the Princess Leias that are out there, you don't really get a lot, if anything. And I can see that being the same way with this Padme. The only thing between them, I want them all except the Super Battle Droid, because I've seen the Super Battle Droid like in person, if you want to call it that, at some of these little conventions and such. Not really that exciting, honestly. It's very wide and takes up a lot of space. And as you said, unless you're a completionist, not going to be for me. But I really want the Anakin. I'm really interested to see what the Padme comes with, but we don't have any other Padme representation at all. We have multiple Anakins. We have multiple Jedi, if you say, I don't really necessarily want Mace, but there is no Padme representation. So I'm kind of leaning that way too. But all 3 except the Battle Droid are in my wheelhouse here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It makes me chuckle a little bit because I feel like for the longest time people have been like, "Where's Padme? Where's Padme?"
Right.
And then there's 3 of us on this panel where we're like, "She's not number 1 in my opinion."
Right. We're always like, "Yeah, she's cool." But anyway, Mace, right? That's yeah. But like, it's funny, Ben. Remember when they showed the regular battle droid, right? They showed the regular battle droid and they teased Mace in the photos. All anyone talked about was Mace, right? They all were like, okay, that battle droid's kind of cool. I like it. It's $190 or whatever it is. Not too bad. I'll probably pick one up. But Mace, did you see that Mace? All it was like the back of his head. And everyone was like, oh shit, that's a Mace Windu. And that's all we talked about. It was kind of like in the new 501st Trooper, whatever it is, when they showed Anakin. And everyone's like, just no one even talked about the Trooper. Everyone talked about the Anakin.
Completely overshadowed it.
Yeah, right. So
it's
kind of like, that's kind of what Mace isn't even in this photo. And he's the one we're talking about mostly. So it's kind of like, I just think it's a new character, a new figure, and a character that is very well loved and respected that people want. So
I am very curious, though, on what head sculpt they're going to use for him, or facial expression wise, because he's very expressive. The Nick Furies that I have are good because, I mean, he's a stoic character as it is, but I don't want it. The thing I love about like the SaberWorks Mace Windu is I love that head sculpt. I think for a third party, that's not bad at all. The SaberWorks one.
No, it's not.
So I really hope that they do it justice and it's not just like a deadpan look, because I feel like he has to have some type of a furrowed brow, something along those lines. So that's what I'm going to be looking for. So you can have the blank expression on these 2, but you have to have something a little more expressive with Mace, I hope.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Totally agree.
It makes sense, guys. Well, great thoughts on that one. Let's move on from the Attack of the Clones and move on to something else. And this I knew we needed Keco here for, because I think I messaged you guys about adding this in. The Ecto-1 is back. And I want to share something because Keco would know better than me on this one, because I'm not the biggest Ghostbusters fan, right? But I had to look up what the original Ecto-1 went for. And this is what I found. $1,390, right? And this is on Sideshow. Keco, do you remember what year this came out?
I want to say 2008. No, definitely not that. I think 2018 is what I meant.
2018. Okay, I was going to say, that's a long time ago.
Yeah, but, I think it was 2018.
2008. So 2018. So what, 4 years ago, almost 5 years now, right? And now we get a reissue, apparently. It's on Big Bad Toy Store up for pre-order for $29.99. So, and this is estimated to arrive next month. So this is very interesting. I'm not sure. From what people tell me, it's up for pre-order again. I couldn't really find it any other place, though. Like, I've heard
you know what this is?
What?
You know what this is?
Yeah, fill me in.
This is Carlos selling this to them and trying to sell this third party. Yes, because there is no reason. It's not being reissued. They probably found somebody's. But this is the thing, and forgive me for just jumping in because I'm pissed off about it, because I think I've been on this show frequently and on my podcast. And this is the one chase piece that I want and need. I got the original 4, I got the DeLorean and all that stuff, but I'm missing the Ecto-1. That's the one piece I need. And I've gone back and forth with Carlos, just being silly. But I've been serious about, and I've actually made him a legit offer that he said, I don't know if I can do this, but I'll think about it. And, I threw that out there, which I thought was fair and such. But we know that the the afterlife version, if you want to call it, is 1,800. All right, from that they're re-releasing or whatever you want to call that. I mean, it's still the Ecto-1, but when you're thinking 1984 Ghostbusters, and if you're a Ghostbusters honk like me, this is the one you want. And there is no way in hell that this is coming back from Blitzway, because I thought Blitzway have said that they don't re-release things. I thought I remember reading that somewhere. And so this isn't coming from their warehouse by any means. I think they found some scale of these and they're like, okay, sweet, people will pay this. But even if you $4 shipping, that's fantastic. But even if you, I mean, once you add, because me in Tennessee here, you know, if I were to get this out the door, it'd be $3,300, you know, with my taxes, and then $4 for shipping. $3,300 to get this, and they're going for cheaper used on eBay, you know. And I'm like, for one, it just does not make any sense to me at all. So I don't know, like, if they're just trying to milk it, they're like, hey, people will pay it. It makes no sense to me at all. Well,
supposedly, like, I'm seeing a comment here from BMW Lover. He said it's stock that Blitzway found and sold big bad 9 of these. So Oilers Workshop supposedly broke the news. If that's the case, that's interesting. That's certainly interesting. I've never heard of a company really doing that, where they just like sold them to one retailer like that. I don't know. Maybe that happens.
Have you seen this box? It's the size of a refrigerator. How do you just find 9 of these? 9.
Well, Keco, Sideshow does that shit all the time.
They'll be like one though.
They will. They'll have one, but 9 is a lot, right? You could have 9 refrigerators just lying around somewhere, I guess.
Yeah,
but
I call bullshit.
But Keco, like Sideshow will do that. They'll be like, oh, here's a half scale fucking Pennywise we just found in the warehouse. I'm like, how did you lose it? Like, it's, you know, how did you?
There's more to this story that we'll never get, and I don't really think it matters. But the main point of this, and I'm sorry I've dominated this whole thing, but I want this, you know, and this is one of the things I've really wanted, but I refuse to. I think it said $600 deposit for something for this. If you want it, $3,000. I mean, that's $1,200 more or $1,400 more than what it actually retailed for. It's double what it retailed for. And I think that's shameful and just taking advantage of. There's some that'll get it. That's cool, but you're not going to get it from me.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, Ben, what do you think, bro? What do you think about this new 9 edition size Blitzway Ecto-1?
I mean, I love Keco's passion on that. I echo a lot of what he feels. I was going to mention the fridge size box as well. Like, I don't even know, even if I had the money right now for it, I don't even know where I would actually put it in the display that I could make it look badass and really fit.
It's 4 feet long. The actual thing, 48 inches.
Insane, right? The fact that I also wouldn't be able to then get the Ghostbusters at this point to go along with it, because I missed the original options, and those going on the secondary market are also crazy. Like, that's, you know, when you're like, because this is American dollars, so for me in Canada, especially with customs and shipping and all of the things, like, you're looking at closer to $3,500, almost $4,000 for this car. Then with the figures, that's like a $5,000 investment. And I think of all of the things that I could do for $5,000. Every figure I want right now, I was telling Will before the show, adds up to about $3,000. So for this one vehicle, I could pay off all the figures that I want right this second and feel like $1 million. So you got to know kind of when to hold them and when to fold them. And like, for me, as much nostalgia as Ghostbusters has in my life, I've watched that movie, like, I'm not kidding, I don't, like, hundreds of times over my lifespan. I don't think I could even justify it. You know, I look at my Hot Toys, and I remember a time where I couldn't justify my $250 DX12 Batman, and now it's like I have a whole figure collection behind me. But even still, this is pushing my ability to justify it to myself, for sure.
No, it's fair, and I think you guys are both onto something. For me, I'm not the biggest Ghostbusters fan or the biggest Back to the Future fan for the DeLorean, but the DeLorean, I mean, it's like $800-900, maybe $1,000. I mean, I know on the aftermarket it's more than that now, but yeah, it's just pretty interesting. I see some of the comments saying Big Bad Rep supposedly said they marked it up to discourage resellers from buying them all. It defeats the purpose, though, because then no one's going to buy it anyway. So like you're going to discourage the resellers, but then you're going to discourage the actual buyers too. So it's like you can't really win, right? You might as well just put them up and then you Godspeed, right? That's kind of what I would say, and hope for the best. Maybe just put them to drop at a certain time. If you get lucky, go for it. If not, or maybe do I don't know, fucking
because I mean, let's be honest. The what's the word I'm looking for? The market for people that want this and can get this is relatively small. You know, not everyone has the space for it or the funds for it and such. So I don't think the run on them is what people would be saying. I if they said, hey, here's a raffle for a chance to get one, almost like a Turbo Man toy. Here's a ball, and you'll get a chance to get one eventually. You know, I'd be okay with that, just to give me a shot at it. But this makes it to where there is no shot. And you know, I've messaged all the toy departments toy department and all the toy stores and comic book shops I go to that, have people bring in their stuff. I was like, guys, look, if anyone ever brings in an Ecto, please hit me up immediately. I will get it. I'll send my mom in if it's at toy department, all that stuff to go pick it up. Whatever. I want it. I need this. Everyone knows I want this, but I will not pay $3,000 for it. Nope.
Yeah.
Why specifically your mom? Like, why would you send your mom?
Because toy department's in Cincinnati, and I'm from Cincinnati. My mom lives down the street from them, and so she's gone and picked those up for me because they don't ship. That's the other thing that they do is that they're in store only, and so I have to have.
I was like, why your mom? Why her? Why send her?
Keco's got this unique working relationship. I set up the toys. You go,
you go get them
in. Dude, she actually is the one that got me Yondu because they got the one that they had Yondu come in. I'm like, I need this, but I'm here in Nashville, and she's in Cincinnati. I was like, Mom, will you go to toy department and buy me Yondu?
That's awesome. She's like, fine, Keco, king of detox. I'll go.
That's right. I'll
How is the poor woman gonna get a fridge-sized box out of the store by herself?
Well, that's the other thing, man. Is that like that poor woman have no chance? I'd be, hey, go ahead and grab the van because you're not gonna be
robbed in the parking lot.
Go ahead and hire someone to come pick it up. Yeah, because dude, I can just tell you, Keco, if they ever get like a Drogon in there, I'm just telling you that box is literally massive. Like it's the biggest box I have, and I have like a half-scale statue. I mean, like I'm just telling you that Drogon, if you ever pick it up, 3-0 made the box literally the size of like 5 fridges. Like it's massive.
Is it one box?
It's one box. Well, it's one box inside another box. Yeah. So yeah, but it's like a box inside a brown shipper essentially. Yeah. So, but it's pretty crazy. Anyway, guys, check out the Ecto-1, but I don't know. There's a little high price. So.
If anybody wants to be featured in my next collection tour, if they want to sponsor this, and that way I can say, guys, here we have the Ecto-1, courtesy of insert your name, then I'd be more than happy to take that off your hands.
And then I'll react to it, and then you get double the publicity.
It's a win-win-win.
It's a win-win-win, exactly. Yep, absolutely. We got a super chat, guys. Thanks so much. Batman Collectibles. Thanks, bro. That means a lot, man. Expensive day, but great day. Batman and Robin. Batman Begins. And got my shipping notice for my Jazz Inc. 66 Batmobile. Also, hello to Keco, to a fellow Tennessean. Oh, nice, dude. Congrats, man. Dude, that's a lot of Batman.
That's crazy.
That's a lot of Batman pickups. But congratulations. The name checks out. The username absolutely checks out. Batman Collectibles, you got all Batman shit in there. So happy for you, bro. Happy for you indeed. Thanks so much for the super chat, bro. That really does mean a lot. So guys, let's since we have a Batman fan in the chat, and let's talk about Throbin.
Let's whip it out.
Yeah, let's whip it out. So the foreplay has happened. We're all lubed up. We're ready to go. Okay. This is Batman Forever. We need to talk about this. We need to talk about, do these figures deliver? And there's a couple ways we're going to go over that. The first being the blogger picks that Hot Toys shared. And there it is. There it is. There's the biggest accessory in all of Hot Toys. So guys, Batman Forever.
Is that the Ecto-1?
What'd you say, Keco?
Is that the Ecto-1?
Yeah, it might as well be. Might as well. Same size. The box is the same size. So, but Batman Forever. I'm a little surprised they came out this soon. I thought maybe they would get delayed a little bit longer, but nonetheless, they are here. And Ben, I want to start with you on this one. What do you think about these Batman Forever figures? Do you have any sort of connection to these characters? Is this a pickup for you? What do you think?
I do have a connection to these characters. So like I'm turning 36 this year. So like I'm right in that sweet spot of, I watched the hell out of these movies as a kid. I had all the McDonald's cups, like the glass cups that had all the patterning on the side from the films. Back then I thought, Jim Carrey was like, he couldn't do wrong. Even just like the representation of Two-Face. I just loved the whole film back then. Does it hold up as much now as an adult? No, but for the nostalgia side of it, I would still say yes. I still have a fun time every time I watch it. I really like the soundtrack in this film. The one thing that I would say, at least in terms of the releases here, I do kind of wish it was more of like the black suited version of the Batman as opposed to the sonar suit. We didn't get to see the sonar suit all that much in that film, whereas the black suit is kind of more of the mainstay of that movie. But I had all of these toys, even like the small scale back in the day, the Chris O'Donnell, like this figure in little form, I carried that guy around with me all over the place back in the day. He wasn't nearly the packing dude that he is in the Hot Toys version here, but still very excited. Now, am I happy to see them this early? For the people who are like planning on it or have already paid off, 100%. Was I planning this into my December budget? Not at all. Not at all. Did I pull the trigger on Batman today? Yes, 100%. I'm going to wait on the Robin for maybe a month. Hopefully he doesn't go blue screen too crazy quick or anything like that. But I want at least the Batman because Batman is still my favorite character of all time. Not specifically Val Kilmer's, but just Batman in general. I plan to have as many Batmans as I can fit into my collection slowly over time. The other thing we got to think about too, and I try and collect, actors who have meant something to me in my life. Val Kilmer is not getting any younger. He's an old dude. He's had some real health struggles. This was this man in the peak of his condition, and he was awesome for back then. He did a great job as Batman for the script that they gave him. So I think it would be a cool figure to have in my collection, especially, down the line one day when we don't have him anymore. This will be one of those Grail figures that I think people go searching for. My only criticism, and it's a very minor criticism because let's be honest, most Batmans that I've had, at least in my collection, I haven't modified them, I haven't done anything to them, so most Batmans aren't very posable. And this guy doesn't look like he's going to be all that posable either. He's going to be very stoic. You can tell that the joints have some bunching of the rubber material or whatever they're using there. So you're going to have to be a little bit careful. I think you have to be okay with a museum style pose and call it a day. I don't think you're going to get much dynamic duo out of this dynamic duo.
No, so. I think you're right, Ben. I think this is going to be one that you're probably going to have to keep in museum posing. I saw some, criticisms of this figure and the material usage and things like that and the bunching. I just feel like maybe that's just how the material is. I think it's just like it is what it is. I mean, it's probably a practicality, a reality of just the situation. It's like the practicality of the material and just the reality of what it's going to do when you move it. So I don't know if this is going to be a dynamic posing type figure. I think you're right, Ben. I would be very careful with that. Maybe it'll rebound super well. Some of the suits do, some don't. But it's like, bro, I think, I tend to be a very cautious collector with my posing when it comes to figures like this. When it comes to anything with pleather, when it comes to a skin tight suit or anything questionable, I'm like, all right, arms down by the side, put them in a nice character pose, nothing that puts stress on the body or the suit, and call it a day. Not everyone's going to be like that. Some people really care about engaging with their figures and they don't care about the longevity of it. But I do personally. So like with Loki, for example, he has a pleather suit on, right? You could probably pose him with his arm up for a little while, but after a while, you want to be careful with that and probably put it back down. So, I just got his arms down by his side holding the scepter, and that's pretty much it. So with this, I'd probably do something similar. But you're on to something, Ben, 100%. Big time about the Val Kilmer thing. About this could be a potential Grail at some point, right? Because Val Kilmer, dude, again, I don't mean this is not really a spoiler. The fact that he shows up in Top Gun briefly, right? That was an amazing scene. Yep. Like that was just amazing. And like just the fact that, he is a beloved actor. And if you watch the documentary that he put out recently about his condition and stuff, like he's just fucking awesome, dude. And like just seeing this figure, this is not my favorite film, but he was good as Batman. There was nothing wrong with his portrayal. So pretty cool. Anyway, Keco, sorry, I got off a little tangent there, but Keco, King of D-Tops, Handsome Butters. So fill us in on your thoughts, bro.
That is what I do. Is I go off on tangents. So
don't
ever apologize about that. So I'm
me too. You have to kick me under the virtual desk here. If
we all do it. So we're all in the right place. We're all in the right place.
Do an auto mute or something to keep people from shutting the hell up. But by the way, shout out for 36 Club. What up? I'm officially 36 as of a couple weeks ago. So yeah.
What up?
Yeah, but I do.
Very
What's
nice.
That?
I said I'll be 32 in April, so I'm not quite there.
We are not spring chicken.
You young buck.
Yeah. Everyone's here in the 30s Club.
So we're in that same area where when I loved Batman Forever, which I think is one of the better ones out there. Just because as goofy and campy as it is, it's still really good. I mean, the moment that you see Two-Face or whatever, and I love that one part. He's like, "Oh no, it's boiling acid." That little part.
That was a good.
So silly, but Val Kilmer was a great Batman. And then you got Nicole Kidman looking hot as fuck as Chase Meridian. That was one of her better roles, I think that's awesome. And then you got, Dick Grayson, showing up and the Flying Graysons or whatever. And that's like a really dark scene. Not sitting there talking about Batman the whole time, but he climbs up there, saves the day, sits out there, then he comes back and see his parents like splattered on the ground. That's a dark scene, kind of what happens there. But this is cool. It was cool. From Edward Nygma to all that stuff. To say, but the thing I didn't like is that all the people that did get online, they're like, I mean, everyone knows Batman is not Spider-Man. I don't know what people were like expecting. Like, they're like, how many times have you ever seen like Batman flying from in like his jujitsu poses or whatever outside of the Dark Knight when he says, "You want to be able to turn your neck?" Yes, because that's the first time ever that they ever did that. So everyone upset about the pleather or the rubber or anything like that. What were you expecting them to do? I mean, these characters don't do that. Even in the films, I mean, there's no like moments where they're doing like crazy things. And so the bitching online was just ridiculous. I didn't understand that at all. But man, props to Val Kilmer. As I said, Top Gun Maverick, one of the greatest films I've ever seen. That is in a top 5 for me, by the way, a top 5 of all time now.
It's really
Maverick.
good. It's
a
really
film.
good.
But yeah, that moment where, you know, as you said, I don't think it's spoilers anymore or whatever, but, you know, he can't talk, kind of like in real life or whatever. He just uses the little keyboard to type, and I love that. So
yeah.
But let's address this, though.
Let's address the Dick Grayson dick.
Yes.
Because
But I sent this to my buddy, and I'm like, hey, man, I remember I sent you about a year ago this picture. I think the actual figure's dick is bigger than the prototype. I think they enlarged it.
So this is a case where Hot Toys improved upon the prototype, is what you're telling me?
Yes, they did. And the crowd
How could it
went
get
wild.
any better, Keco?
That's what I'm saying. So, but I think these are cool. I mean, just the colors alone. I mean, I don't think they've ever made a really cool Robin. I mean, this is a great pickup. And am I going to get it? No, I'm sticking with my Dark Knight. As I said, I'm going to be stuck with that as well as my 89 Batman. But these are really, really good.
Yeah, these are cool looking figures, man. They're definitely not for me just because I feel like, you know, I don't really have a connection to the film. I watched them when I was younger, though. I do remember watching them. And I think I remember most Jim Carrey. I think that's what I remember most from these. It's just, yeah, I don't know. It's pretty, yeah, it's pretty old school.
I think people were so focused, though, on the Throbin part of this figure that they didn't necessarily talk much about the head sculpt. And while I don't think it's a bad head sculpt, I don't think it's 100% Chris O'Donnell either. I think it's one of the weaker parts of the figure, which is interesting. Whereas when I look at this, even just having a mouth plate for that Batman, that 100% looks to me
it's
like
Val Kilmer's lips.
Yeah, totally. It's a great representation of Chris O'Donnell, but I would still give it more like an 8 out of 10. But like people have been so focused on the outfit and the package below that I don't even think I've heard anybody say anything about it.
Well, I mean,
so
it's a great accessory. So
I mean, you're not even going to notice. You could just stand up on the shelf without his head sculpt, and people would be like, "Wow, look at that huge Robin!
Look at that great package." That's what they'll say. Yeah, man, 100%. But yeah, I'm happy for people that are going to be getting these, and they're going to look pretty cool on a shelf together. What do you guys think about the cape material? It looks pretty good, right? I don't really know. Is it accurate? I mean, to me, I don't really know much about the film, but it looks solid. Doesn't look.
I thought
Robin's
the cape was
wired.
rubbery. I thought the cape was rubbery in the movie. Maybe I'm at least like that, almost like pleather type of thing. Maybe I'm getting my movies mixed up, but I don't think it was cloth by any means.
Maybe I'm looking at it incorrectly. I know Robin's is wired, I can tell, but Batman's almost looks not wired. So I'm not sure. Someone might have to point that out in the comments, but it does look pretty cool nonetheless, and it's a cool looking Batman suit. It's for the diehards, you know, to have that nostalgic connection to the film. That's really what you're going for. So, yeah, man. So, guys, great thoughts on that one. Let's address a couple super chats. Mr. Ash Chase, thanks so much, bro. I've created a monster with the Throbin. You're welcome, America. Was that you, Ash, who coined that term? If so, bro, very proud of you. That's pretty amazing, bro. Remarkable. So thank you so much for the super chat, man. Really happy about that. Very much appreciate that. And congratulations on being famous for coming up with an amazing name. So very proud of you. Let's see. Fig Fate. Thanks so much, bro. He said, I'm worried about Robin around my fiance. That's some stiff competition. Whoa, bro. You get the applause track. You get the applause track. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty clever, bro. Thanks so much, Fig Fate. Appreciate it, man, for the super chat. Thank you guys both for that. Everyone's being super generous. I really appreciate that. So, guys, let's address the next topic, which is something else a little controversial. And I want to hear everyone's thoughts on this because Doc Brown released recently and the community is divided. Maybe not even divided, maybe in uniformity, because we got to talk about the elephant in the room, some issues, because he has holes in his head. And he also has a little bit of maybe a neck issue. I guess it depends on who you ask, right? But I was watching some of the Sideshow First Look footage that we're seeing here. And when they were showing the articulation, at some point you can even see the neck, like peg being shown. See, like right there. You can see it. So maybe that's a matter of just pulling the shirt up or pushing the head down a little bit more. But it's like and that sculpt to me looks a little bit soft. People have been saying it's just a flat out reused head sculpt from Back to the Future 2. I'm just going to go with what people say on that because I'm not a Back to the Future expert. However, it does look a little soft to me. And I'm a little surprised they didn't fix the holes in the head considering he has no glasses to put them in. So a little bit interesting of a choice. But Ben, I want to start with you on this one. With this Doc Brown, are you satisfied with this? What do you think overall about this figure?
It's been a hard week, to be honest, on this for me, because I've had this paid off now for about a month. So I was very excited. I've got Marty McFly behind me. I've got the DeLorean on pre-order, on payment plan, I should say. It's slowly, chipping away at it. And I've been waiting for this Doc Brown for a while, right? And I mean, not even that long. I mean, they technically bumped it up. And I was excited about them bumping it up ahead of schedule. When I saw the photos of the figure, at first, my initial gut reaction without hearing any community member talk about it was kind of what you said. It does look a little bit soft, which is surprising because I feel like Hot Toys typically does older figures, like older, like faces, I should say, better than younger people because they've got more age lines. There's more to sculpt. The way you can apply the paint can make it look really good. Look at the Dooku's and some of those figures from the past that look a little bit better. One of the hardest parts about being in this community, though, is feeling this tidal wave of disappointment from everybody. Because while I was still excited to get this guy in my collection even still, after seeing that, noticing the holes in the head sculpt and some of that stuff, hearing this tidal wave of disappointment this week has made me feel kind of just like blah and shitty. And like you realize how much of an impact our takes, but even just the community takes can have. Now, is that a healthy thing? No, we've talked about this before, right? Try to have your own opinion on it. We always say, I don't love it, but I'm happy for the person who is excited for it. But then when we have these tidal waves of disappointment, it can really squash that a little bit. For me, things like the cardboard plutonium case, I don't really care. I honestly think it looks really good. If it's got plastic edges and all the things, plastic to me isn't that much more premium of a material either, in my opinion. Like it's still cheap to make it and mold it. If this holds up well, like if it's sturdy, if it's durable, if I can look at it in my display case and know exactly what it's supposed to represent, for the extra $20, I'm still okay with this as an accessory. If I tried to get this after the fact because I decided to get the standard version and then was like, shit, now I kind of want this plutonium case, people are going to be selling this thing for like $100. Let's be honest. So like, yeah, like for the $20, yeah, sure, it's durable cardboard in some places, but I still think it looks badass either way. My gripe is with the head sculpt with the holes. I think that is just, it's almost like they're toying with us a little bit. Like how could they have possibly got that past their production line and been like, they'll be fine with it? Like we have communities of shows going on like every single day of the week. There's no way this was going to get past us without it creating like this tidal wave of not even negativity, just tidal wave of comments. I'm shocked that they would just have been cheap enough to just be like, it's fine, put it out. I would have rathered wait longer for the figure if it required a little more time to bake in the oven. Alternatively, it would have been cool if this was like part of a deluxe package where we got more of a neutral head sculpt. I know I've heard people say in the past, and I agree with it, the scene that this suit is from, he's oftentimes not all this expressive. It's not the great Scott moments of the films. It's more stoic, more talking, more like I want to say less lively than this. This is cool for some scenes for sure, but it would have been cool to have two head sculpts. Maybe at least this be part of that additional deluxe package where you get that great Scott head sculpt from the past version, but here's also a new one that you can enjoy and look forward to. I think the only alternative will be, I wonder what they're going to do then with Back to the Future 2, because it's a different suit. Are they going to update that particular head sculpt? Because if they do, that could be a solution. If they make the neck compatible, you could take this head sculpt and put it on your new Back to the Future 2 head and get the sunglasses on eBay and maybe put the new sculpt on the first version and swap them around a little bit, assuming that they give us an update. So I guess we'll see. Ultimately, not to be too long-winded, I am a little bit disappointed, but I also have felt the wave of negativity this week, and I'm hoping that for the people out there, if they're like me, I still say maintain your level of excitement. I think once you get this figure in your hand, if you're a true Back to the Future fan, and a Doc Brown fan specifically, I think you're going to love it anyways. Once it's on your shelf, people are going to come over, they're going to be like, that's the coolest Doc Brown I've ever seen, and I'm going to feel that way about my own collection, and we'll see how it goes. One last thing. The only thing that I wish Hot Toys would consider a little bit more often is not inviting competition to do it better, right? I want Hot Toys to still be the premium, the best out there, and I root for them all the time, despite some of this competition that's coming in lately. But by doing this, by giving us this head sculpt that is a bit soft, all it is really doing is inviting the competition or those those independent artists to make it better and sell their own, and that would be disappointing, especially if we finally get this in hand and then like Chrome Mando, boom, here's another better one all of a sudden. Look how much better this one is, right?
Yeah.
Whether that's competition or Hot Toys themselves when they give us the Back to the Future 2 copy. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's very reasonable, bro. Very reasonable take. But dude, yeah, it's just one of those things, Ben. I feel like I do want to be philosophically consistent insofar as, like, with Loki, I was like, all right, guys, let's wait a little bit. Let's see some more. Let's see some reviews. Let's see. Sideshow hasn't even done a first look for that one. They have for this one, so at least we're being able to see it on video. But yeah, Ben, I do think we're a lot harder on figures when they first release than we are afterwards. That's just a known fact, I feel like, in this game. Like, for example, I can keep saying Loki, right? I got the Loki in hand. I absolutely love it. I recognize the sculpt is not a 10, especially without the helmet on. But with the helmet on, dude, it's fucking beautiful. And also, you can look at Cable as another example. Cable, everyone flipped their shit when that got released. And now the people in hand are like, oh, it's pretty damn good, actually. So I think
that one.
Yeah, see, and Keco, I think we tend to do that. So we tend to be a little more forgiving once we have it in hand. And we're like, okay, once there's a little bit of time for the outrage to die down, you can look at anything in life with cinema, right? Look at the prequels now. Like, at the time, everyone was like flipping out, like, oh my God, this isn't Star Wars, this is terrible. And now everyone's like, the prequels are dope. They had a unique vision, right? And not everyone's saying that, but a lot of people are. Over time, things start to change. Perceptions start to change. So I will say with this Back to the Future thing, yes, there are some issues. The cardboard thing, I'm with you though, Ben. I'm not a big Back to the Future fan, but I don't really see a huge issue. It was advertised that way from what I'm aware. And also, it looks great. So maybe it will degrade a little bit more quickly. I'm seeing some comments about that. Maybe so. But if it doesn't, then I don't really see a problem here. It looks amazing. Like you said, that's a good way to look at it. I don't know that plastic is that more premium of a material than a cardboard would be. So I don't know that it changes that much. But Keco, I want to let you jump in here on this one. What do you think about this Doc Brown? Are you satisfied overall? I don't know. Are you a big Back to the Future fan?
Well, yes. Will, you just did my collection tour, and there is that lovely shot of Back to the Future.
Over 200 figures, man. I can't remember all those. I was thinking about your handsome haircut. So,
And also, before we get off track, and then you weren't giving me any Gremlins love, so no love for Gizmo. So
bro, when I saw that, I was like, "What the fuck is that?"
I know. I was sad about that. But Back to the Future. Let's talk about that. There's three things that defined my childhood: Back to the Future, Ghostbusters, and Star Wars. Those are the three. All right, and obviously, Star Wars being the bigger IP is what I gravitated toward because they didn't make Back to the Future toys, or really, well, they're Ghostbusters, the Ghostbuster cartoon, toys, we had, but those died off, but Star Wars stayed around. So that's why Star Wars is such a mainstay. You can look behind me, there's all the posters. Anyway, Back to the Future is that, yes, this was a huge piece that I needed to get because I had the original two, and my wife's home, so you can hear the garage door opening. So you'll hear Drago in just a second. So I had the original Back to the Futures 1 and 2, Marty, as well as the Doc Brown Back to the Future 2. And yes, there he is.
There he is, the prince of his promised.
And so you end up, I might have to change some of my audio around just so we don't hear that. But all that to say, the thing I'm disappointed about is the box. I wish it was a little more premium, but this is Doc Brown, man. And as you had said, I'm not going to try to add anything more to it than what you just said. You said that so brilliantly and eloquently, kind of about, what it is as collectors. The thing that made me mad, and I just love to get pissy about all kinds of things, is people were complaining that the dials on that remote weren't movable. They're like, Hot Toys has really just gone downhill. I was like, what are you asking for? I mean, do you really want to turn that? I mean, come on. I mean, people are just literally.
You want to turn the dials.
I mean, look at this. This is a cool picture. And that's kind of probably the way I'm going to kind of have mine set up and displayed. I mean, exactly who that is. Yeah, I'm a little sad that I'll have two figures right next to each other that they'll have the exact same sculpt, but I'll figure that out. And as you know, that with, speaking of the holes in the head, the other one comes with the glasses. Put the glasses on the Back to the Future 2 one. I've literally changed it because mine will be here on Monday. This Doc Brown will be here on Monday for me. And so I went ahead and threw the glasses on my BF2 one. I'm going to be okay. It's going to be fine. And you don't get some of these figures very often. I mean, you see the fact that we're even getting a second DeLorean, that's awesome. And kind of what you had said about the negativity and just finding things to complain about. just be thankful sometimes. I mean, if you're really bitchy, oh, look, that calculator on that thing doesn't work. I'm upset about that.
I can't actually do multiplication.
Yeah, it's like I can't take this to school and be able to do some work, whatever. I mean, people just find anything to complain about. And I understand there's the people that say you need to you're paying too much. You need to hold them accountable. You need to expect them to do that. If you don't let them get away with murder or blah, 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 blah. But at the same time, I mean, damn, I mean, you have been given something that's a premium piece that encapsulates kind of your growing up and your childhood. And if you have an opportunity to kind of put that on the shelf, and as you had said, when you walk in and people's like, sweet, it's Einstein, Marty, and Doc, that is cool. And of course I wanted this because you don't get the stopwatch with Einstein, you get it with Doc. And so now I get to put the stopwatch on Einstein, and that makes me happy.
I've had Einstein in my shelving unit for a while, not displayed, because otherwise it just feels a little bit more of like a generic dog. But I think just with that stopwatch around his neck,
right. He even has the neck articulation for it, which is awesome.
Yeah, right.
What is it, Heine?
Yeah,
I wish it's good for me, man. I'm okay with it. I'm excited to have it. Is the price a little high? I think it was $290 for the deluxe or whatever. How many Christopher Lloyd figures are you going to get? Well, we're going to get 3 because, technically Back to the Future 3 is coming. Okay, fine. But this is the original Doc Brown. When people say Doc Brown, this is what they remember, and this is what you want.
Yeah, and it's funny, Keco, you guys raise really good points about this, but I just feel like, yeah, man, there's always a place. I think what we're not saying at all is there's not a place for, there is a place rather for fair criticism. If you're giving like fair, constructive criticism, that's reasonable, right? That's more than, okay. But I think, yes, sometimes we get a little mixed up in the premium price of these things and what we're expecting a little bit. I do understand that he probably should not have holes in his head. That's not an unrealistic expectation. Or maybe that you were expecting for it to be the box to be plastic instead of cardboard. However, they did advertise it that way. And, I get we don't always read the fine print, Ben. I do get that. Like, we don't read the iTunes agreements when we hit agree, right? So it's the same thing.
That's a good South Park episode on that.
Right, exactly.
I was about to bring that up.
Exactly. So it's like the human centipede thing. So that's like what it's like. I mean, you see this, but it still looks great. I mean, whether it's cardboard or plastic, it looks great. Yes, the holes in the head, it's not ideal, and the head sculpt's a little bit soft. Not giving Hot Toys a pass here, but it's fair to criticize that and say, okay, I'm paying $290. I should be getting a little bit more. That's fine. Voice that. But I just feel like maybe, like you said, Keco, some things like not being able to move the dials, that type of stuff is like.
And then the other one that bothered me, they're like, the tailoring sucks. It's too bad. He's wearing a jumpsuit. What do you want him to be wearing? And if you remember, if you actually seen the damn movie, he's got a bulletproof vest on underneath it. It's going to be baggy for that. Sorry, spoiler, guys. That's how he says
spoilers.
My bad.
Spoiler.
I haven't seen that yet.
I was going to say, damn, I just ruined Will's
I don't
immersion.
care. It's fine.
One last add-on here, because I think it might be worthy of noting too. So one thing to mention, Collecting Weekly guys, they vetted the site the other day. They were saying that when it was originally solicited, the cardboard part wasn't on the website, and then it was updated as of November, which is pretty recent update. So for that, I can understand why some collectors may feel a little butthurt about that, because it is on there now, but I ordered this months ago, before November. I haven't looked at the solicitation since. So to me, that was still a bit of a surprise. But what I wish Hot Toys would start doing, and I think we've all talked about this when it comes to just all figure releases going forward and present, is a little bit more like consistency of the quality. Like you said, because we're paying the premium price, we expect a certain level of premiumness. I don't think it's on the show sheet for today, but like the She-Hulk was a good example. Will, I've heard you talk about that She-Hulk and how you're like, I shouldn't say nobody. A lot of people really didn't like the show, so they're probably just going to throw a jointed figure in the box. She's probably not going to be tall enough. Like, they're just going to get it out there, right? And then for $300, they released this figure the other day that looks like amazing. And it's like, oh, okay, but like, what? But why would you give that figure so much love and not a classic character like Doc Brown, that the older guys like me who can afford the Doc Browns now would absolutely freaking love Hot Toys and celebrate the hell out of them even more than we already are, if you would just give him a little bit extra love like you did with She-Hulk, which, as I said, for some people, they love the character, other people didn't. I don't care. It's just kind of not very consistent in terms of the quality,
That's
which I think
fair.
is the shitty part.
That's absolutely fair, bro. It is fair. And like I said, I mean, I will say, I know InArt's going to be tackling this line. So that could be something that people hold out for. You're probably going to get rooted hair from that one. So, if you're willing to hold out and pay a little bit more premium, if you love Doc Brown that much, that'll be something. But yeah, we want to, it's a fine line. Like we want to hold Hot Toys accountable, but we also don't want to be unrealistic. But I think everything you're saying, Ben, is realistic and fair. Like, like I said, it's not unfair to expect the head sculpt to be painted in and have no gaps, right? And then also for the neck to go in a little bit deeper and just, small things that they just really kind of overlook. You
can make adjustments to kind of figure it out.
Right. You can, absolutely. You can, absolutely. And maybe they're clearly overwhelmed right now. There's no doubt about it. But, like I said, I always try to hold them to the standard that I know they're capable of. So I will criticize this to a degree and say, okay, this is a little bit lazier than I hoped it would be. But I also don't think it's horrible. I don't think it's like I know I got some dislike for this, but the Johnny Silverhand, I really don't like that figure. I just don't think it looks good. It's not my favorite, but I think this one is somewhere in between. And getting it in hand, I think a lot of people will still end up being pretty happy. Like I can tell you, the example I give is Loki, right? Loki, I love it in hand. It might be my favorite hot toy I have. So even though it's not perfect, but it's mine, so I'm happy about it.
Looked good in the collection, buddy. I saw your pictures. Looked real good.
Appreciate it.
Real good.
So guys, we got a very generous super chat. Thank you so much, Major Brent Derlin. Dude, that is a 50 bomb. Did you share? That's a typo. It meant to be a 5 probably. But nonetheless, it's through now. So no takebacks. No, I'm excited. Major Brent Derlin, thanks so much, bro. That is super fucking generous, bro. So thank you for that. Haven't been able to make live shows in a while. Been loving the content. Thanks, man. Very excited for Doc Brown, but beyond bummed they left the holes for the glasses insane. Yeah, you're not wrong, bro. I think we're all a little critical of that. We're all a little critical of it. So understandable. Dude, thank you so much, Major Brenda. And that is super generous, man. That really does mean a lot. So, guys, let's move on to the next topic. And we got to talk about this. This leads us in perfectly to what we're going to talk about next, because we got to really address the elephant in the room here. And I want the chat to jump in on this one too and talk about this. Is Hot Toys quality dipping lately? Because if we look at the last maybe 20 releases, you're seeing a lot of great figures, but as far as head sculpts go, I think that's where we're maybe seeing a little bit of a dip. And I think this is probably just due to them being spread too thin. I think we've talked about this quite a bit. I don't know, Ben, if you were on for this one, but the Hot Toys being spread too thin thing. The advent of streaming has changed pretty much everything for everyone in the entertainment industry. But that has a trickle-down effect to the collectible companies. And now Hot Toys is trying to make everything Disney. And that's a lot of shit. Disney's producing a lot of Star Wars stuff, a lot of Marvel stuff, and then Hot Toys every once in a while will decide to do a DC figure or something else totally offshoot. Then it's hard. They're trying to make a lot of stuff. There's not even a Miss Marvel figure out there yet. There's not a Hawkeye figure out there yet, right? It took a while to get a lot. Loki and Sylvie popped up forever after the show ended. So they are behind, no doubt about it. We got two. I know Eternals wasn't very popular. We got 2 Eternals, right? I mean, they're not making. Their Hot Toys is trying hard to keep up. So I think it could be argued that there is a dip in quality because of how many figures they're trying to pump out before the Chinese New Year, and just the amount of volume of figures that they have to get out of their backlog. So Ben, I want to ask you, do you feel like we're seeing a dip in Hot Toys quality lately? Because I mean, at least as far as head sculpts go, at least we're seeing a little bit of a decline personally. But what do you think?
It's weird because if I look at figures from even when I started collecting back in 2009, there's been an amazing improvement in figures and sculpts, in applications of paint, in accessories, clothing styles and fits, like all of it. Have we seen a dip lately, though, is the question. And I would say yes, but only because I think, like you kind of hit the nail on the head, it's a quantity versus quality, situation that they're in, right? For us, like as collectors, we already have to be relatively patient for these things, right? They don't show an item and we get to get it the next month. Like there are some McFarlane figures, for example, where they show a McFarlane figure and you go to Walmart and they're freaking already on the shelf. And it's like, how'd they even turn that around so fast? Whereas for figures like this, 6 scale and Hot Toys, we already have that year, 14-month wait time anyways. And so we start to get a little impatient. And because there's been so much content coming out lately, I think that they must have this fear that, like, by the time they actually get some of these out, they're already on to season 2 or season 3. Like, we've talked about this with Mando. Like, I'm not getting the Chrome Mando because I'm now just waiting for season 3 of Mando. I'm curious to see what upgrades the costume's going to have and all of the things. So they start to get this backlog. But if they don't clear it out, then they start to get a little impatient. And I think that they must have this fear that, like, by the time they actually get some of these out, they're already on to season 2 or season 3. Like, we've talked about this with Mando. Like, I'm not getting the Chrome Mando because I'm now just waiting for season 3 of Mando. I'm curious to see what upgrades the costume's going to have and all of the things. So they start to get this backlog. But if they don't clear it out, they're going to have sitting stock or people canceling their pre-orders for that next option. Doctor Strange is another good example of that. We just got the Infinity War Doctor Strange, but the Multiverse of Madness Doctor Strange is coming out. Are they both really good quality figures? I'd say yes for the most part. Do I think Multiverse is better? I do. I think the head sculpt's better, so I'm going to wait for that one, which means that that Strange that I might have bought from Infinity War, if you want to call it apples to apples, my copy is now sitting on the shelf waiting for somebody else to buy it because I'm not going to. And so I think they have to either change their direction and offer us a little bit less for the sake of higher quality, and just say to people, sorry, we're going to do main characters only. You're not going to see the sidelines. You're not going to see those big team builds anymore. Not that we get all the teams all the time anyways, but can't do that anymore. We're just spread too thin. Or they need to figure out a way to increase their ability to produce. Because otherwise, as I said, it's leaving holes for the competition to then step in and do it better, right? I mean, if InArt, if I know we haven't seen anything in hand from InArt yet, but if InArt starts producing some really banger stuff in hand, and they announce a Doc Brown down the line, well, shit, like I just spent $500 to get this guy in my collection, and now I'm already looking at the next one. Like I feel like I'm cheating on it in my collection, right? So I think there has been a bit of a dip, but I don't think it's because they want the quality to go down. I just think that they're handcuffed. They're handcuffed to the amount that they have to produce, and it's becoming quantity over quality.
Yeah. And I think you're right. I don't know if there's some sort of contractual obligation with Disney where they have to produce a certain number of characters from each Marvel or Star Wars property, and they just have to do it whether they like it or not. But I think, like you said, Ben, I asked that question in one of my panels recently. I was like, do you guys want higher quality or higher number of characters? Because I think we do sometimes tend to want both. And I saw a comment earlier, I think it was just a second ago, of what's it called? Cruising through space, right? That's a fair comment. He was saying you guys ask for new releases constantly. That's very fair criticism. Because at the time, with all these delays, not things releasing for a while, we always like, where's this figure? Where's that figure? Where's this figure? And now we got all these releases, and I hear some saying like, oh, it's too much. They're dropping too much at once. I get that. But we can't necessarily have it both ways. And we can't say we want things faster and then have it less quality. You don't want things delayed forever. I mean, Loki got delayed a really long time. I mean, that started to get pretty unreasonable after a while. I mean, it was like 3 years almost. So it starts to get a while, kind of ridiculous. But I don't know. If we're looking at non-head sculpts, yes. I don't think they're really dipping. I think everything else is looking pretty great. Like, your opinion on the Loki aside, the tailoring is phenomenal. And so is the accessories 100%. And everything else. Same Axe Wolves looks great. Bo-Katan, I mean, the head sculpt is a little debatable depending upon who you ask, but the helmet and the rest of the figure are fantastic. Single joints, I get that, but still really great. The White Vision looks fantastic. This Doctor Strange is a reused head sculpt, but it's it was good before, it's good now. It's just not as good as Multiverse of Madness, like you said. But overall, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if they're dipping a little bit. The head sculpts are definitely going down in quality a bit. But Keco, what do you think, man? Are you noticing a dip or anything at all significant?
So we look for things to look for things sometimes. And Ben has been waxing eloquently tonight, by the way. And I just want to say congratulations on that. But I think we're starting to do exactly what I was getting ready to do, is that I ran to look at the list of things of what's been released. And so we're going to talk simply about releases, because that's the ones that matter, because prototype doesn't matter, because everyone will be like, oh, fuck, it's not the same as the prototype. That's how it goes. So if you're just looking at the past releases, you got and we're talking just head sculpts, because Spider-Man doesn't really count, because I think those are good releases regardless. You look at the brand new Chris O'Donnell, okay, that's okay. The Iron Strange, that was a reused head sculpt, which I think is pretty darn good, but I still give that a plus. The Doc Brown, meh. I'll give you that one, but it's still Doc Brown. The White Vision, really good. I ended up getting that today and took a picture, which I think personally is better than some of the blogger photos. I was really proud of that photo. So with that being said, Vision's looking really good. The Axe Wolves doesn't have a head sculpt. Fantastic. You just showed the Doctor Strange, same one, re-release. The Loki, meh, kind of interesting. Johnny Silverhand, meh, but the Black Widow, I thought both Black Widows look fantastic. The Bo-Katan looks fantastic. The Tony Stark mech suit looks fantastic. The let me see what's the next one here. I'm not going to belabor the point here. Echo was the one after that. Echo is fantastic. That's a great figure and in my top 5 figures of the year. So is the quality dipping? I think it depends on what you are saying is dipping. Are the head sculpts getting worse? I think subjectively you can say no, or objectively, if depending on which how you want to say it, I think you could say no. I think they are continuing to improve. Could they continue to improve? Like, yeah, because I think if you ever saw going back to Doc Brown, the Back to the Future 2 Doc Brown final, vastly different from the Back to the Future 2 prototype. I mean, it was night and day. And, that was an increase because they continued to improve their technology and got better. I think this White Widow, fantastic. People didn't like it. I did. Really, really good. So I think you need to kind of see what it is that you're complaining about and what you're upset about. And at the end of the day, you're paying like $300 for a really premium figure. I think this is a premium figure. Maybe I'm just lost in the shuffle of it all, and I'm just being a homer and all that type of stuff and just a shill. I don't think so, because I choose on which figures to get and not to get. And, there's some I've completely passed on, but there's not a chance in hell I'd miss out on the White Widow thing. I think that's a fantastic one. And I was super skeptical about the solo version of Black Widow. And I thought that's the best Scarlett Johansson we've gotten to date. So I'm very, very okay with that. And man, we find reasons to complain. I think that's a lot of it, is that it's either you get a figure and you're excited, or you don't have one and you complain. And so that's the way it is. No one ever complains about the ones they have. And so I don't know. I'm happy with it. I think they're doing okay. Can they improve? Sure. Do they need to slow down? Maybe. But I think someone said it in the comments, is that we asked for releases. Here they are. So let's enjoy these things while we have them.
Yeah.
I complained a little bit about my Marty. I'm not going to lie. When I got it in hand, I was like, it's like a 6.5 out of 10. I'm happy to have a Marty McFly.
But it's better than the other one.
But it is better. So the only other thing that I'll add to this, which I think is part of the issue that I'm having, is not even that I'm concerned about the quality. I think we've been used to, for the last 2 years, of having figures go through a long pre-order, then get on the website, and then sit for a little bit, and you can have some time to kind of look at it and decide and hum and haw and watch reviews and see some people get it in hand and their own blogger photos and all these things. Lately, with a lot of these figures going, limited or blue line before we're even seeing it hit like in stock, is stressing me out. Because if there is a bit of a decline in any way, shape, or form, but you've pulled the trigger ahead of time just to make sure you kind of allocated yourself one, and then it comes out, and then you're disappointed, that kicks even harder. Because that's how I feel a little bit, as I said, about Doc Brown. I saw that it was going to go waitlist. I was like, well, I can't not have Doc in my collection. So I ordered him, I paid it in full, and now we're seeing the in-hand shots, and it's like I feel just a little disappointed, in combination with that wave of negativity that kind of has come along with it. I don't mean it to sound like negativity whenever I criticize a figure. A lot of the time I'm trying to talk myself out of buying things that I don't necessarily need. And so if I don't absolutely love it, I'm going to try to not buy it, right, for the most part. But I think, as I said, right now as collectors, it is a bit of a tricky time, because if there's going to be a few dips here and there, I really kind of hope that they can still maintain a little bit of that we see it in stock before it goes out of stock way that we've been used to in the past. Otherwise, it doesn't feel, or it feels more like a gamble, I should say. It feels a lot more like a gamble.
Yeah, and that makes sense. I mean, but, because we're looking at some of these, releases here, and I think that's an interesting point, Ben. Like, you're gonna have to make more split second decisions, not really split second, but you're gonna have to make decisions more quickly, in other words, right? Because we've been used to just sitting and waiting for figures to be discounted and just let it, drop to 20-30% off, whatever. That's gonna change. That's gonna change soon, because Sideshow's not gonna be ordering as many of these. Yeah. Maybe Keco, maybe the Hong Kong resellers will still do that. Maybe Toys Wonderland will still be selling figures for $100 or something. Who knows? But I would suspect not. I think things are going to change. I think the market is going to adapt. When I interviewed Alter Ego Comics, he said, yes, we're sitting on a bunch of stock, but that is going to change. He said the market is going to correct itself, and it's already starting to do it. So I think that's what's going to happen. Sideshow has already started ordering less. They know we're in an economic recession. They know that people are not ordering as much. There's over supply and less demand. So yeah, I mean, Hot Toys has a lot of figures to pump out nonetheless, though. So they're trying to get through their backlog as quickly as possible. But yeah, man, I don't know. It's hard to say, because you guys make really good points. When you start to see a lot of these figures with their helmets on, yeah, it's amazing. I think the main reason that most people buy Hot Toys is for the realism factor. However, when you go to get the head sculpt, it is really important. You want it to be good. A lot of people think this Bo-Katan is great in hand. when I'm looking at the photos, I think it's very okay. I think it's like a 7.5 or something, but I've heard it's a lot better in hand. And I feel that way with Loki, right? So I get it. I understand how that can be. So, but I mean, we're just looking at I don't know. It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. I know, like you say, Keco, we should be fair and reasonable. I'm interested. I'm curious, like that Black Widow, why you like that? Because for me, it's pretty much what the prototype advertised, but it's like I look at that Black Widow head sculpt and I'm like, it just doesn't do it for me. Like something's just off about it. Yeah, maybe it's just me, man. But when I look at it, Keco, I'm just like, you know what? This Bo-Katan looks better to me than Black Widow does. Black Widow, yeah. Like I look at the Black Widow, Keco, and I'm like, something with the head, it just looks too big. And then like that's the same head sculpt basically from Endgame. It looks like pretty much the same, if not slightly different.
We've talked about that. And
I said it's different hairpiece. I
said it's not.
Really? It looks the same to me. I don't think I've owned either one, but
after shooting photos of it, I can confirm that it is not.
Well, you are the expert, Keco, with photography.
Not the expert.
You're being humble. That's what it is. Humble butters. But
thanks,
guys.
fellas.
So yeah, but it's, I think I'm interested to hear everyone's thoughts about, whether Hot Toys is taking a dip, because I think you're going to get a vastly different answer depending upon who you ask. I guess we need more of a sample size. We have about 20 figures in the last, 2 or 3 months. So it's pretty significant, but getting a lot of reused parts, head sculpts, and then some new ones. But I think maybe Riley pointed this out to me, guys, and we can address this real quick before we move on. I think we're getting to this expectation that we're expecting the proto to improve to the final, and it's usually the opposite. Like we're usually getting 5 to 10% or more decline, but we're expecting things to get better. Unless there's an outrage, I wouldn't expect that to happen. Like with Tony Stank or something.
Yeah,
or
you got to think of how rare that was.
Doc Ock, for example, Keco, that's going to get better because people raise enough shit about it to say, okay, Hot Toys is like, okay, we're looking into it, right? Remember Keco with Endgame Captain America when they put the Age of Ultron head sculpt on it, and everyone was like, oh, no, and then they changed it. So unless the Hot Toys like addresses it, then you're probably like when Woo is the outlier, probably because maybe there was people raising stink about it overseas or something, and we just didn't see it.
I think,
Yeah, okay. So I mean that's probably why they changed it. Then unless you see Hot Toys pretty much openly address it, expect a decline from production. That's what I would say. Do you guys agree with that?
I don't want to ever expect it. I don't ever want to expect a decline, but I do think it's smart to not necessarily expect an increase either. I was hoping for an increase with Doc Brown, and I felt a little disappointed when it wasn't the case.
Sure.
When it was the same. I think if you like the solicitation photos, go with that as your gut check. And if it comes out better, then that's great. I don't want to expect less, because then I also think that's like you're teaching Hot Toys how to treat you, if that makes sense. I don't want that to be the case or the messaging.
So much wisdom tonight from you.
Well, so Ben, and I get what you're saying. I think it's just a realistic thing, like because Hot Toys is pretty much going to do this whether we want them to or not. So like,
I understand. Yeah. Once it gets
I think
to
it's just
production,
a matter of like 5 to 10% is reasonable. When you start going beyond that, it starts to become problematic. But I get what you're saying. You don't want to give them a pass to do that. So
yeah, I didn't want it to just be the expectation, and I know like maybe this is also a bit of a hot take. Like Exo-6, I'm a big Star Trek fan. While I don't think every Exo-6 head sculpt that they've done so far have been bangers. There have been some ones that are really soft. But I honestly think that what they show as their prototype is actually what ends up being in the box. Like, I'm not sure how they're able to keep it that consistent. Now, again, some of them are like 6.5s and some of them are like 9s. So there's a big swing, but at least you see the solicitation and they give you what is solicited at the end of the day. I don't want Hot Toys to, as I said, have that pass by any stretch.
That's reasonable. All right, guys, we got to wrap that topic. We got to move on a little bit because we got to move on to something a little bit interesting. So thank you guys in the chat for the comments.
A little bit interesting.
I know, right? A little bit.
It's all been interesting, man.
You know what, Ben? Because, you know why it's super interesting? Because Keco didn't know, and neither did you, Ben. And I didn't know until right before the show that this is a thing.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Fair enough.
And I'll share because I know Kiko's really excited. I mostly brought it up for Danny, but I'll share some other stuff too. Right. So supposedly 3-0 teased that a Daenerys Targaryen from season 7 is coming, and it's going to be announced soon. I know that InArt has the license for Game of Thrones, so I would advise people to probably wait and see what we're going to get. Sir. Yeah, because Kiko's not going to do it. He's not going to do it. But I will say, for the more rational people out there, I would say that you can wait and see what InArt does and then make your decision. And also, I threw in the little title here. Is there another dragon? I don't know if that's Drogon. I don't know if it's a screenshot. It could be Rhaegal. I don't know. Maybe it's something like that. Maybe it's another dragon, right? We're not sure, but we are sure that Dany season 7 is being made. We also are sure, not that one, the other direction. This is actually being made. A Khal Drogo 1/6 from Game of Thrones from season 1. That looks pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. So actually, I want to start with Keco first on this one because I know he's super excited. He's going to be chomping at the bit to talk about this. Keco, what are your thoughts on this Daenerys and then the Khal Drogo too?
So I do want to give hats off to everybody at HBO that kind of got House of the Dragon off the ground, because I was salty as fuck at the end of Game of Thrones. Like, I denounced them and said I would never do anything again, especially because George R.R. Martin's just eating lemon cakes and not doing a thing, and never giving me my book back. So we'll never know how the story ends. So we're stuck with that stupid HBO version of how it ended. But all that to say is that when House of the Dragon came out, which I think everyone says was incredible, and I agree, it was a fantastic bit of TV. So that revitalized my Thrones love. And I went back and I've started listening to all the soundtracks, watching all the shows again, doing all this stuff, and also adding figures that I had missed to my collection. And so with that being said, I love Daenerys. I think she's incredible and one of my favorite characters, not just in the show, but in TV, cinema, whatever you want to call it. So I have the original 3-0 Dany, the season 5 all white Dany, and this is next on the list. Essentially, this is the season 7 one, which I think is pretty damn cool. I think it looks pretty damn good. It looks like they're going full sculpted, because the white one had, and I don't know if there's a back shot that they have, but the white one has half rooted, half plastic, or if you want to call it. They've been doing a couple of those recently, and I'm okay with that because the braids are so excuse me. The braids are so intricate that you kind of have to sculpt it, because you're not going to be able to get anyone to maintain that hair sculpt or whatever. But this is an improvement vastly over even the season 5 one. I love this one. I think we're getting really, really close to a really solid Emilia Clarke Daenerys figure. So am I getting this one? Yes. I'm not waiting for it. I'll get the NR ones too, whenever that one comes. But unless it's a shit show like the Pennywise one and it's a sub product.
No, get the fuck out of here.
We've talked about that.
I
but
know.
We'll see. We'll see what NR has with the Game of Thrones line. But yeah, I absolutely will get this. Now, I will admit, I dropped the ball on Drogon. And I looked at it on Sideshow for a while, because it was sitting there, and then gone. And then I saw it behind you, and I'm like, shit, I really, really want that. And I wish I had it. But I don't have the Drogon. I do wish that I want Drogon the Ecto-1. The Ecto-1 still, but I would like a Drogon. I don't know if they would do another one. I don't see, they may do another Drogon, like in a different scene, because he's in the like the dragon pit and the one you have.
Yep.
But I don't know. I don't know if they would do another dragon other than him. It looks a little bit like Rhaegal because he's got a little bit of yellow in him, it looks like, but I think it's a screen grab. I don't think it's another dragon, honestly. Yeah. But the figure looks awesome. And then the Khal Drogo, that looks awesome as well, because there's like there's a third party version of him that does not look like this, and I almost got the third party version just to be able to have it. But this looks good. All the 3-0 recently have really been hitting all the marks. Even the Sansa is good. The Ser Jorah is fantastic. The season 5 Dany's good. The Tormund's excellent. I've been real impressed with them recently. And so all that to say is, yeah, bring on this season 7 Dany. Hello, Drago, down there.
Drago's there, yeah. And I think you're right, Keco. 3-0 can be kind of hit or miss. I think I've talked about that a bunch. But when
they're Transformers that are...
Transformers are all pretty much hits.
Exceptional,
yeah. They're exceptional. Yeah, no doubt. But as far as head sculpts, because they nail everything, except head sculpts are sometimes questionable. It just depends on the figure. Their Jaime Lannister, I think, is fucking awesome. Like, I think that's like a Hot Toys level head sculpt.
But then Cersei sucks ass.
Yeah, exactly. Cersei sucks ass. But Sansa's pretty good. I mean, the Tyrion's fantastic. I mean, the Jaime Lannister's fantastic. It just depends. The Rick Grimes came out really good, I saw. That looked really good. But what about you, Ben, on this one with the Khal Drogo and the Daenerys season 7? Would this be something you're interested in? What are your overall thoughts?
So I agree with Keco. I do think that this is probably the strongest Daenerys likeness that we've had. I know we haven't had many 6-scale versions of her, but even some of the statues that I've seen, I think this is still a bit better of a likeness to her. I still really liked her in season 7 at this point. So if I was going to collect her, this would be a season that I would collect from. I really did not love season 8 and kind of where they took her character and direction.
That was fan fiction, bro. That's not.
It just
yeah, pretty much.
It hurt a little bit. It was like, oh, like I rooted for her every season for 7 seasons, you know, like so. Anyways, I don't think that I would buy this. And I only say that because I haven't bought any of the other ones. And I've been jealous of the people who have, because I agree. The Jaime Lannister, I think Dean, he showed me his. It looks awesome. Sorry, Tormund is the other one.
Yep.
Yeah, that one, he looks awesome. And so, but I wouldn't want to collect backwards. I wouldn't want to try and go find some of those now secondary. And so just to have Daenerys in my collection would be a little bit strange. I don't think I would get the Khal Drogo. I don't like him as much. I think she's stronger. But seams take me out of it. Arm seams, it just takes me out of it. So I'm one of those guys. I do like the seamless body if it means museum-esque posing. For me, it's the realism, kind of like you said earlier. So I would say this will be a pass for me. I think I may actually wait for House of the Dragon figures, if anything, to come out.
Dude, those are going to come.
You give me a Daemon Targaryen, I'm all over.
I would
give me a
definitely get a Daemon Targaryen.
I'm all over that one too.
Well, they're gonna do that, Keco. I will say, by the way,
I'm pretty 3-0 or Inart?
3-0. Yeah, they're definitely gonna do it. And also, I'm pretty positive that Inart. I think John has already said they're looking at that pretty closely. So House of the Dragon was a huge success in terms of viewership. So they know what's popular, and they're gonna make it. So. Yeah. I'm personally going to wait. Inart has not released anything yet. I'm going to wait to see what their Dany looks like before I jump on this one. Because I do have Drogon. I'd love to have a Dany.
What if it looks like Pennywise? You're going to miss out on this one.
Then I'm going to have a Grail. Because that Pennywise, Keco, is a Grail, bro. And you know it. You know it. You just don't want to admit it because you have the hot toys. But that Pennywise, bro, I got 2 of them. Did I tell you that, Keco? Yeah, I got 2 of them, dude. I'm super excited.
Madness.
Nah, dude, it's a Grail, bro. It's a Grail. But guys, let us know in the chat your thoughts on Dany season 7. Maybe another Drogon. We shall see. Keco, they only made 144 Drogons. So, and I don't know if you saw Ben too. It sat forever, bro. Like Drogon, it was $1,500. So
yeah,
that's like Keco, you're muted, Keco.
I'm muted. And that's a lot. That's a lot for someone to throw down on something that's not even posable. It's a statue, is what it is. Statue. They call it a 6-scale figure, but it's a statue. And I waited too long. But if I could go back and do it again, I definitely would. But if they want to find some in the warehouse, let's go for it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I got mine from HBO Shop, and it was free shipping, and they gave me like a 15% off coupon.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, so I was like, I know. So if I ever sell it, Keco, I'll sell it to you, though. I'll sell it to you.
Fair.
Yeah, I'll sell it to you.
You heard it here first, folks.
I know, right? Exactly. So let's move on. I think we got time for one more topic, and we'll save some of these for the Sunday show. But your most anticipated figure of 2023. I want to ask you guys this question. Like something slated to come out in 2023. It doesn't necessarily have to be a Hot Toys figure. If you have an idea for something else, whether it be Inart, whether it be 3-0, whether it be a third party, something 1/6. I will say that. Something 1/6. What is your most anticipated figure of 2023? It's tough because I know we're all going to have several that we really, really want. I would have said Loki, but he's already out. So for me, I think it's got to be... Dude, so Keco may have been right. It's the Inart Pennywise for sure is up there. I think honestly though, it might be the Inart Joker probably. The Inart Joker, man. The 2-pack Joker. I think that's got to be my most anticipated. It could come out before 2023 for all we know. But I'm going to say it's most anticipated for now. If I had to give an honorable mention, I'll say Shang-Chi and Wenwu. But Ben, what do you think, bro? What's your most anticipated figure of 2023? What are you looking forward to?
Oh my God. There's so many good ones when I didn't even think of the Joker, and that has been my most anticipated for so long already.
Yep.
And so honestly, since you said that, I do have to give it to that. Heath Ledger is, Heath Ledger's Joker is one of my favorite characters of all time, if not my favorite character of all time. If I had to clear out my collection and have one figure representation of a film that I love, it would be Heath Ledger's Joker. So that will definitely be there, but before I was reminded of that, thank you very much. My honorable mention would be the Darth Vader that I've got coming. I've wanted the Darth Vader. Yeah, the DX.
Okay.
I've wanted a Darth Vader in my collection since I started collecting Hot Toys. And I almost got the Rogue One at one point, and then Zach from Collecting Weekly talked me out of it because he hates that Darth Vader, surprisingly, for people who love it. But he hates it. He hates it. So
What? All right, I got to talk to Zach. I'm a mess.
He talked me fully out of it.
I'm gonna mess
sorry,
with you.
Zach, if you're listening. But I've wanted Darth Vader in my I mean, he's an absolute staple. I love Star Wars, love Darth Vader, and this figure looks amazing. So yeah, between the two Jokers and this guy, it's going to be a good 2023.
That's an excellent
100%.
choice, Ben. And it made me start thinking about, dude, because my other one is Cad Bane. I'm so fucking excited for Cad Bane.
Cad
I
Bane's
need
gonna be
Cad Bane,
sweet.
bro. Yeah, that's
I've
somebody.
got Goblin on the glider coming as well, which
Yeah.
I'm really excited about. Like, there's so many good ones, but
Dude, there's so many good ones for 2023. And yeah, man. But Shang-Chi and Wenwu, supposedly January to March. So we'll see, man. Really excited about that. Keco, most anticipated figure of 2023, bro. What is it?
So,
In our Pennywise. Why is it in our Pennywise?
Okay, yeah, go ahead. So she's already supposed to be here, but since we're talking 2023, then let's just go ahead and go with the superior version, the Multiverse of Madness Scarlet Witch. I want my Scarlet Witch.
Oh.
also an amazing choice. 100%.
Yeah, so I want the Scarlet Witch or whatever. I want the one from WandaVision. That's supposed to have been here 3 months ago. But if we're going for 2023, just go ahead and give me the Multiverse of Madness one because it's slated for. I logged into Sideshow just to double check. It is slated for July to December of 2023. So that's the one I want. I want my Scarlet Witch. You know that's one of my favorite characters, and let's go, baby.
Dude,
we have 20 days for her to show up. The other one, but the Multiverse of Madness one, I think is far superior. She looks awesome.
Dude, that one is really
Even
dope.
like the blackened fingertips and like, oh yeah.
Yeah, and then the deluxe one that's got like the prayer
candle
vigil.
diamond.
I mean, go back go two things back.
This one?
That's an awesome picture. I mean, look at
Yep.
that.
It's
That's
beautiful.
fantastic.
Dude, and Keco, it's funny. I had the WandaVision one on pre-order at one point, and I ended up canceling it because it got delayed and I was able to cancel it, right? So with this one, I always like this one better. I think this one is better. And I think I love WandaVision, the show, more than I like this film. But Wanda in this film is fucking awesome. She steals the show. Hands down, she's the best part of the film. It's not even close. So, and I love this head sculpt, Keco. This head sculpt is
Great.
stunning.
It's great. And I mean, because I've told you
Beautiful.
before, I love Liz Olsen. I love all that stuff. And if you look how the intricacies of this costume, even just around the neckline, and it like fades to where there's like a black smudge around her heart, which I think is fantastic. I love that about like the costume design. And this is just such a cool figure. But I went back to check is that I've been waiting on my Scarlet Witch from WandaVision since March 21st of 2000. Yeah, March 20th of 2021. So I've been waiting a little while for that one. That's my longest pre-order that I have so far. But yeah, that is the one right there.
Yeah, that's a great choice, Keco. Seriously, man. And I forgot about this one. I don't love Multiverse of Madness the film, but I love Wanda in it. And this head sculpt, dude. This head sculpt, if not a 9 or 9.5, is like really close to a 10. This is really, really good.
Yeah, if we get anything close to that, that's going to
know.
be an absolute gem. And what I love about this is that it's got the elbow, because the one thing that people didn't like about the WandaVision one is that there's the issue around the elbows and things like that. But this one's got full sleeves. And I was looking at my Resistance Ray, it's kind of got the same thing to where you can do a lot of stuff, because there's a joint there and because it's covering it. But I mean, that's fantastic. And I can't wait for that one.
Dude, beautiful figure. Yes. Really excited about that. Guys, we are going to wrap it there. We're right near our end here. So, guys, thank you so much.
Ben,
I know,
coming out
right?
strong
Thank you,
tonight.
guys. You all get an applause for that beautiful show. Thank you so much. Thank you
Good
guys
show,
so
guys.
much for the beautiful Avengers level panel thoughts. You guys were amazing as always, as you always are, which is why I'm humbled and thankful that you guys were willing to join. It's always a blast, man. So, got to talk about some Daenerys. We got to talk about some Khal Drogo. Talk about, Throbin, all the good stuff, right? So, yeah, and thank you guys so much in the chat for joining. It was really a fun show. And, of course, we're here every Friday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern, to have a lot of fun and chat some cool stuff. And hopefully Lights, Camera, Keco will return. So I will say, let's go around the panel real quick and just address what these guys are up to because they have some amazing content and we need to talk about it. Ben, what's coming up on your channel, man?
Yeah, thanks again for having me, and good to see you again, Keco, or Handsome Butters as well. Great show, I had a lot of fun, lots of laugh. My face is hurting a little bit from smiling so much. So
It was the Doc Brown. That's what it was.
definitely the Doc Brown, 100%, or the Throbin, one of the two. It's hard to
Throbin.
say, but on my little channel, so it's getting bigger by the day. I'm just over 700 subs now. I'm on the journey to 1,000. So if anybody is just learning about me now, definitely appreciate the subscribe if you can. But in terms of content coming up, there's a new Toys R Us that was just built here in town, so I'm going to go do a toy store tour there. for some fun.
Nice.
And then I'm gonna steal a little bit from Keco and definitely do some kind of collection 2.0 tour, maybe around Christmas, maybe in the new year. We'll see how it goes. And then every Tuesday night, I'm always on the main show with the Collecting Weekly guys. So definitely head over there and check out their channel as well if you're new to them. And then lastly, my brother in arms, Marco over at 16fix. Whenever his lovely wife Gigi is not available, I'm his much uglier substitute for co-host. So you can see me over there as well at 16fix, Collecting Weekly, and the Ben Thomas Show.
Cool. All great places to be, man. And thanks so much for joining, Ben. Always love having you, dude. It's always a pleasure, man, to have you on. You got some insights, and you definitely impressed Keco. I can tell. You shared some wisdom, and you got Handsome Butters really excited. So it should be good. But yeah, man. So happy to have you, Ben, as always. Mr. Keco Collects, bro. First off, thank you for joining. And second, let me thank you for allowing me to react to your beautiful collection, dude. Really appreciate it. And of course, I will do the update when you do the update. So what else is coming up on the channel? I know you got a beautiful collection tour coming up.
Yeah, let's talk about what's coming, because as I said, I tried to make a statement saying that we were trying to finish the year strong, and I did this last year, and it was kind of okay. I try to put out a video each week. Tomorrow is the big debut of the reissue of the reissues video. Yes. So we're excited about that. I went ahead and crunched the numbers to see kind of what we're looking at, everybody, from all these hot toy releases, and I added some new things to get excited about. So we're looking at the percentage of reissues, how likely that is, and we nailed down the percentage of 2.0s, not just reissues, but 2.0s. So we're going to look at that because that's definitely its own category. So be ready tomorrow on the channel for the reissue of the reissues video. So that's going to be fantastic. But then other than that, to finish out the year, we are going to be doing an answering critics type video. A lot of people asked for that one, and I thought that was interesting because in this adult hobby, there are still some people that don't know how to answer questions. Whenever people say, you collect toys at 30 years old or plus, or whatever your age is, you're not 5 years old and you collect toys? Yes, I do. And so kind of how to answer critics. So we'll talk about that. And then we're going to end the year with the holiday special of the collection room volume. I think this is like 7.5 at this point. I'm not for sure, but we are going to look at the highlights of some things that were added since the one that Will reacted to. So by the way, thank you for doing that. Yeah. You gave me Handsome Butters. You shamed me for Gizmo. And then there's a lot of other good things. So if you're not got a chance to go check out Will's video of my collection tour from 6-7 months ago, whenever that was, that was a funny one. I really enjoyed that. I laughed a lot. So thank you, Will, for being an overall good dude.
Well, thanks, man. You're overall
and then
good
Instagram,
too, so
and then Instagram. That's the other thing.
Dude, the Instagram, the photography.
Yeah, check me out on Instagram. So Instagram and YouTube, Keco Collects. Please help me out.
Lots of good stuff over there. Lots of good stuff where Ben's at too. Lots of good stuff everywhere. Guys, there'll be other collection tour reactions coming soon. I'm not sure which is my next one. However, there will be some on the horizon. But thank you so much for Keco letting me do it. I got to do Ben soon. If he's willing to have me, then I'll definitely do it. So, yeah, guys, thanks so much for watching. Of course, there'll be clips from the show. There'll be some Last of Us content that I've promised that will be coming. I'm going to dissect the trailer, do some other stuff about the show. Really excited about that. And yeah, whatever else is on the horizon. Got to do some more reviews and stuff like that. I don't really do reviews much, but I kind of want to do like maybe shorter reviews. I've seen some others do that, and I'm like, this would be kind of cool, I think. Do a short kind of a quick review and, kind of let Justin and some of the others do the more thorough, in-depth stuff. But I guess we'll see how it shakes out. But anyway, guys, Collectors Mingle Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern. This show every Friday, 5:30. I'm on Lael's every Wednesday at 9:15 p.m. Eastern. And then whatever other live streams I pop up on the meantime, I will be there. So, guys, check everyone out here and their live streams and their, of course, beautiful content that they produce. And on Instagram and all that good stuff. Instagram, check me out, WillFoxification. If you have any questions, let me know. Drop some comments below. Other than that, guys, thank you so much. We are going to end it there. Bye. See you. Bye. Later. Bye.